Alright, I'm recording a
Check variac voltage.
roast here of
Check variac voltage.
Sumatra, and that's my warning that I'm just about at the 280 degrees. That's when I start changing the profile, so there it goes. And I have a variac hooked up to this roaster to make sure I get sufficient amount of power when the air conditioners are running. So I can see that I've got a background curve here. My previous roast of this Sumatra, it's running just a few seconds behind. I can adjust my background image if I want to. I'll make it 10 degrees shift, and looks like I'm right on the money there. I guess it's also time to turn on my Delta BT curve so I can see what that looks like. So this is one of the slowest roasts that I do. It's 3 minutes after the start of first crack. You can see it's a very slow decrease in the rate of rise here over that time. There's a lot of people who don't really care for Sumatra coffees because they can be a little funky, but this is one of the base components that I use for my favorite espresso blend. It's about half Sumatra in general. So the next thing that's going to happen is when I get to a oh, well, there it is. There's my next one. So now I'm going to drop my variac because I just hit that milestone.
Check variac voltage. Check variac voltage.
My reminder in case I'm asleep. I get my audio alert. I've got like this little extra event in here, which I typically go in here and delete these extraneous events, which I just have as kind of a warning. So when I dropped my fan there to 50%, so the next thing that should happen is around 370 degrees, so another 30 degrees, which is a little more than a minute. I should be hitting first crack, and on this particular coffee it's not a very loud first crack. It's kind of a soft and sporadic. Most of the time I just listen to it carefully and adjust accordingly.
First crack in 5 degrees.
So
First crack in 5 degrees.
that's my standard warning, is first crack in 5 degrees, but it's a little early on this one. It's usually closer to 370 than 360. But this is one of the nice things about using this software to control a roaster, is I don't have to make a whole bunch of manual adjustments. I can pretty much just watch it and make sure everything is going according to plan. As you can see, it does an amazingly good job of reproducing prior roasts. That previous roast was back on August the 14th, so I roast these coffees every 4 to 5 weeks. Now that I've insulated the roaster, it helps it be much more consistent from even winter versus summer. So I'm hearing my first outliers of first crack. I'll click the magic button here when I decide that I'm close enough. Oh, and there's my roaster just hit 395, and alright, I'm gonna say that's the onset of first crack. It isn't overwhelming, and as soon as I do that, it automatically drops the power 60%, and I've got kind of a a slow drop in the power for the next 30 seconds and the next 30 seconds after that, and then I literally turn it off at a minute 30. So as I'm doing that, I'm also adjusting the variac to, you know, I don't need to push the voltage on this. I'm not trying to make this a fast roast or anything. Although this is seeming to go a little faster than previous roasts. I can see my BT change here is a little higher than usual. And there's my drop again. So now the fan has turned off.
Check variac voltage.
And I did
Check variac voltage.
check my variac voltage already. So I'm at 20% power, but that's going to be dropping off to nothing here in a few seconds. And again, it's just a matter of looking at the curves, and it's not, this is one of the slower rows, so it doesn't get terribly exciting usually. So at this point I'm looking at my numbers versus last time, and they seem to be several degrees higher than usual, which is surprising. I'm somewhat confused because the curve looks like it's almost spot on there. Oh well, you never know about these things. Sometimes random stuff happens. So I'm at 398. Last time I was at 395. So what I'm shooting for, my final result is about 407 degrees. So I normally would get there at 3 minutes. I think this one I'm going to be getting a little faster than that, probably a little after 2:30. So this is just one of those strange things where I've had a bit of an acceleration in the roast. Oh, well, I can see the problem. Some damn fool was supposed to turn off the power, and that was a manual thing. Oh well, never mind. So now I just eject the beans and turn this puppy off. So that's what happens sometimes when I narrate these videos. I kind of forget that, oh yeah, there are manual steps involved here as well. Oh well, and that's the end of the roast.